ways to attract more money, love, and happiness in your life. I am your host, Janet M. Taylor, and I want to say hello if you're a regular listener, and welcome if you're listening for the very first time. I hope you're having a great start to your week. And if you enjoy listening to this podcast, please leave a review on the platform you're listening on so I can continue bringing you episodes each and every week. In this episode, I am joined by Dr. Renee Galloway, who is the author of Done, a guide to prioritize, plan, and perform to accomplish your goals. And of course, I will be sharing my product suggestion, app suggestion, repurpose suggestion, and my book suggestion for this week. And my question for you this week is, what goals do you want to focus on for the fall? So, did you know that people with written goals are 50% more likely to achieve than people without goals? Which is why I wanted to bring Dr. Renee on. So, what started out as informal coaching and consulting over 20 years ago soon grew into something bigger than she anticipated. Her proven success strategies of goal setting, time management, and action plans have catapulted individuals as well as small business owners to new levels of success. Dr. Renee's mission is crystal clear: to empower others to live their very best life and achieve personal and professional success, one strategic initiative at a time. So now, sit back and listen to my conversation with Dr. Renee Galloway.
Listeners, I'm excited because I have a returning guest expert, Dr. Renee Galloway, and she is the author of Done, a guide to prioritize, plan, and perform to accomplish your goals. Dr. Renee, thank you so much for returning.
Oh, you're very welcome, Janet. I am honored, and excited to be here today. Thank you.
And I'm excited too about our conversation about your book and getting things done. But the first thing is, how did you, because you actually went from corporate, your journey is corporate, then you host vision board parties, and then you wrote your book. So, talk about that journey.
Okay. Well, the path from corporate to hosting vision board parties to writing my book was definitely not linear. But at any given time, I would be working on multiple goals, even while working full time. So to accomplish these goals required, as you said, strategy to getting things done. So I was hoping and wishing is not a strategy. Sometimes that's what we do. So this journey led me to writing my inaugural book, Done, Prioritize, Plan, and Perform to Accomplish Your Goals. So yes, that was the journey, basically.
So with that, as you and I were talking, I think sometimes we think we're going to go in one direction, with everything going on in the world, but then we've had to take a few pivots here and there. So why is it hard for people to kind of look at those big priorities, and those big picture priorities? What is like stopping them from just kind of really looking at them and dealing with them?
I would say for that, the impediment to looking at our big picture priorities is we need to begin with the end in mind and look at the reasons for procrastination and how that's associated with not looking at your big picture priorities. And one I say is the lack of motivation from not knowing the why behind this goal or vision. You got to know the why. What's the reason? What's the motivation? And when we're not motivated, a lot of times we're not clear on why we actually want to or need to, or maybe don't need to do what we think we need to. They're overwhelmed by thinking about the enormity or challenge of the task before them. Fear. Fear is oftentimes based on a previous unpleasant experience or a previous, what we considered was a failure. So, and it's just not the right time. When the reality is that the right time just may never come. And so those, I think, are some of the impediments to looking at our big picture priorities that eventually result in procrastination.
And you're right. And then one of the things, so then that takes me into my next question, which is one of the chapters in your books. So, how do we win that war against procrastination? What are some strategies, like maybe a couple of strategies you can share?
Oh, absolutely. I say we break up tasks into smaller, manageable tasks to minimize feeling overwhelmed. As an organizer, you know how when you open that closet or you go and it's like, oh my goodness, there's every size from 2 to 10, and I've never, changed whether I gained weight, lost weight, and so we have to break it up in manageable chunks and say, okay, I'm going to clean out this section today, maybe another section next week. So break them up into manageable tasks. Make a list and check off your completions. With that, you're saying, oh, I feel like I really am not accomplishing very much. But when you look at your checked off completions, you'll say, hey, wait a minute, I accomplished more than I thought I had. Don't be discouraged by setbacks. Sometimes if I say I'm going to do it on Tuesday and I don't get to it till Thursday because other things, came up in between, don't be discouraged by that. I'm still going to get it done. I have to push out my deadlines, out a little further, but I'm going to still maintain the course and get it done. Find an accountability partner. Not somebody that's going to ride you. Girl, did you get that done? Oh my goodness, you said last week you were going to do that. Just somebody say, hey, how's it going? How's it going? Anything I can do to help you with that? Find an accountability partner. That helps. Give yourself rewards for tasks completed. Pat yourself on the back and say, oh my gosh, I'm going to have a latte, or I'm going to go and get something, really special, that special ice cream cone, or me, I like popcorn, so I'm going to get my favorite popcorn, so be sure to give yourself rewards for tasks completed. And the other one I wanted to talk about was build self-discipline by doing it oftentimes afraid, or even when you just don't feel like it. I think as we look at all this going on right now, many of us have lost I call it our press, press pass, because we get overwhelmed by the news, we get overwhelmed by, all that's going on. And a lot of times we've lost our press, that I don't feel like doing this. And so because I don't feel like it, I'm just not going to do it. But sometimes we have to use that self-discipline, that accountability partner, that energy, inner energy that says, you know what, I don't really feel like it, but I know it's what I have to do. And so those are some of the areas that I would say would help us to begin to win the war on procrastination, because it is a journey. It's not a destination, it is a journey.
And I like what you said about breaking it down, because I share with people that even when I do my closet, I don't tackle the entire closet at one time because it's overwhelming. I may do my suits, I may do my tops, the skirts, the pants, the shoes, the handbags. That helps me work through it. And also what you said about accountability. What I did one time, because I was really struggling getting rid of some pieces, that I invited a friend, and he is a stylist, and I had him help me go through some stuff that I was having a challenge of getting rid of. And he just was really there, right there for me, giving me accountability, saying, Janet, you haven't worn it and you don't look good. Well, he was really honest with me. Janet, you haven't worn it, you don't really look good in it, so get rid of it. So, and we had a really good, it was nice because we had a really good time. We've known each other for a while. So, I love those strategies and those tips just on how to win that war on procrastination. So, Dr. Renee, one of the things that you mentioned in your book is building a better you. It's called Steps to Build a Better You. So, how, with everything that you have going on in your life, how do you continue to build a better you?
Oh, yes. It begins with us recognizing that there is better in us. We talk about good, better, best. We should always be growing. We should always be evolving, not being stagnant. And so as we look at building a better us, it's like, well, I'm just fine. And yes, you are. We are just fine, but there's still always better in us. And accept the need for risk. If you want to do something you want to have something you've never had, you have to do something you've never done. So oftentimes by building a better us, it's going to take some risk. Are we going to step out of our comfort zone? Are we going to do something that, it's like, oh, I don't always wear red lipstick, but, I might want to try it, and just see, because I just love the way it looks. And so, it may work and it may not, but accept that risk. Expand your circle by connecting and meeting new like-minded people who can help you on the journey and on your path. If we have the same circle we've had exactly for the past 2 years, 5 years, we've not met any new people. We've not introduced any new people into our circle. And I know oftentimes we say it's tough to trust people, but they don't have to be in your inner circle, but at least someone that you could bounce something off of. You could reach out, like your friend who was a style expert. You may not talk daily, weekly, or monthly, but there's still a connection and someone in your circle that you were able to reach out to give you that boost or that push when you were cleaning out your closet. Be willing to invest in your growth. And I'm not talking even at this point about money, but your time. Reading an instructional book, a motivational self-help book, listening to podcasts like this one, and taking courses, even online courses, which make it so much easier now for us to take a class to learn and grow, because you don't have to leave the comfort of your home. You don't have to get dressed. You can even be in your jammies if you want to sometimes. So those are some of the things. And seeking mentoring or even coaching. As a professional coach, I help people oftentimes with setting those SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound, those goals, and then going back over those goals. And so don't be afraid to invite someone in, because as a coach, we were taught in our training that we don't have all the answers. We are to ask the right questions to bring the answers out of our clients. So oftentimes, I'm not trying to make anyone a little Renee, or mini Renee. I am allowing them to be who they are and just asking just the right questions that will say, oh, you know what? I did know that. I did realize that, and that's how, those are some of the areas where we can help build a better us, because we should always, always be aspiring to grow and be better at us, because I always like to say nobody can be a better us than we can. So,
and I was just listening to all the wonderful things you were saying. Last year I was invited by a friend to be a part of a group, and these women, we meet weekly, and it's just been so rewarding and enriching, because they've stretched me in a few areas. I've been able to, provide some insight on things. So it's been a really nice journey there. But also when you talked about just, doing the online courses, one of the things I enjoy doing is doing the courses. And also I've made a commitment that each year I want to learn at least one new thing, so I can be a better Janet. So those are just a few things. And I loved all those things you said. So Dr. Renee, how can somebody get in touch with you? But more importantly, how can they get your book?
Oh, yes, by visiting my website. And that is Sweet Inspirations with an S, LLC.com, sweetinspirationsllc.com. And you'll find other podcast interviews between yourself and I, and my complimentary mini course, Change. And change just simply means C for creativity, H for habits. We look at our A, attitude, N, necessary, G, growth, and E, expectations. You can fill out the contact form and we can schedule a discovery call, even if you're interested in coaching services. You can also purchase Done, Prioritize, Plan, and Perform to Accomplish Your Goals, as well as a second book where myself and 17 other women collaborated on a book, and it's called Power Up Superwomen, Stories of Courage and Empowerment. And I have the first chapter, which is the power of your personal vision.
And of course, listeners, I will have a direct link to Dr. Renee's website and also to her book as well on the show page. So, Dr. Renee, I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be with the listeners.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I always like to close in saying, yes, you too can say done.
Like this show and want to make your own? Let me tell you about Anchor. It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Now you can even add any song from Spotify directly to your episode. The possibilities are endless for what you can create, whether it's music analysis, your own radio show, or something the world's never heard before. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free app or go to anchor.fm to get started. I hope you were taking notes during Dr. Renee's conversation, and if not, you can always listen to this over again, and please share. So now we're going to transition to Taylor's tip time, and just want to add a few strategies in order to getting things done. Number one, write things down. Whether you use a tablet, whether you use a piece of paper and some pen, write things down in order to get things done. Use a calendar, because once you write down what you need to do, make sure you schedule it, whether you use a digital calendar or paper calendar. And of course, it's always good to use a planner as well. Now, I started out writing my plans in a notebook, but I needed something a little bit more structured, which is why I use a planner now. And I also, as you all know, I have my planning meetings each with myself. And sometimes you just need someone to hold you accountable to things. For example, if you want to take a class, get a project done, you need somebody to hold you accountable. So are you ready to live an organized life? Maybe a virtual session is for you. Have you been working on getting organized and feel that you need someone to guide you from start to finish by providing you with details needed to clear that clutter and get organized? Let's talk so I can share how you can get back on track and get organized with my virtual sessions. All you have to do is go to my website at janetmtaylor.com and schedule a 15-minute free session where we talk about your project. I probably will drop a few nuggets on how you can get started, and then we can decide how we want to proceed. Again, www.janetmtaylor.com. Now, maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, feel like you can't manage all that's happening at work, your business, your life. Let me help you, because I work with clients so they can get things done without feeling stressed and burned out, and create the life they want so you can have time to do all the things you enjoy doing without feeling guilty. So make sure there's a link in the show page that says strategize and organize. Make sure you click that link as well. And of course, I want to take a moment to thank you. Thank you for following me on social media, for your likes, your retweets, for your sharing, for your comments. Continue to follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Janet the Organizer, and of course, follow me on Pinterest. And of course, again, make sure you check out all of my Pinterest boards, but I also have boards on time management, goal setting as well. And of course, making sure you check out my YouTube channel as well. And, I will be uploading some interesting stuff on YouTube as well. So, of course, If you are thinking of getting organized, ladies, getting your life in order, and you don't want to get overwhelmed, then join my Facebook group, Living Life Totally Organized. It's a community of women supporting each other on their journey to living a life that is totally organized. It's free. It's for women. It's great because people are posting. It's like sort of like an accountability group, because one woman, every time she does something, she posts the before and she posts the after. Some people just post videos or photos of things they want to organize, and I give them strategies right within that group. So check it out. And you know what time it is? I'm going to give you a chance to think about it. I'm going to give you a chance to do your chant with a little dance, because I know I'm doing a little dance over here. It's Toss It Tuesday. So toss those scraps of paper cluttering your purse, your drawers, and the tops of surfaces. You know how you write a little number, you write yourself a little note, you toss it to the side. Well, it's time to get rid of all that. My app suggestion for this week is to do this. Organize it all and free your mental space. That's what to-do list allows you to do. My product suggestion for you this week is a weekly dry erase calendar. I love my dry erase calendar. I post it on my refrigerator, and I get to see my week at a glance without having to pick up my phone or go onto a device. So that's my product suggestion. Of course, my repurpose suggestion is to check out my repurpose boards. I've got the garden, the office, and just general. Because you may have things in your home and your life you're not ready to part with. You may think of a creative way in order to incorporate it into your home. And a book suggestion for this week is Done by Dr. Renee Galloway, A Guide to Prioritize, Plan, and Perform to Accomplish Your Goal. It's a great book. It's got like work pages in there, worksheets in there, so you can really get things done. My quote for you this week is, you can do anything, but not everything. I want you to always remember that. You can do anything, but you can't do everything. So if you've got like 30 to-do items on your list every day, maybe you can do 2 or 3, but no, you can't do everything. Well, of course, I want to thank you for listening, and be sure to share this podcast with your family, your friends, and on your social media network. And again, let me know you've enjoyed listening to this podcast by leaving a review. And also, you can leave me a voice message on the podcast show page. You can ask a question, which I'll answer in a future show. I would love to hear from you. And of course, be sure to visit my website at janetmtaylor.com. And until next time, I want you to have a clutter-free day, but most of all, have an organized week. Organization is a quintessential element of a clutter-free life. Join me as we take this journey together. Along the way, we will find the necessary answers to your organizing dilemmas. My name is Janet M. Taylor, and you are listening to Got Clutter, Get Organized.